I have a great tip for when you're feeling overwhelmed, anxious, stressed. You're going to take 3 pieces of paper, and on the first piece of paper, you're going to sit down and write out everything that's bothering you, every little thing that's been on your mind for the past week, the past month, whatever's taking up space in your brain, things you're worried about, things that you haven't moved forward on, things that you feel stuck with, things that you're unsure about, just anything that comes to mind, write it on this piece of paper. Once you're done, take a fresh second piece of paper and transfer everything from that first piece of paper that you can do nothing about. So, for example, right now there's a hurricane coming. We've done everything in preparation for it. There's nothing more we can do. So if I wrote, hurricane down on that, I would put it on this piece of paper because it's not much I can do at this point. Then you're going to take a third piece of paper, and whatever's left on that original piece of paper should be things that you can do something about. And so as you transfer the items to this third piece of paper, you also want to write down the next action to move that thing forward. So a lot of times I've noticed for me personally when I'm stuck on something is because I don't really know what the next action is, or what the next action is I have resistance to, or what I think the next action is I have resistance to. So one example might be you feel like you have to have an uncomfortable conversation with somebody. Well, nobody wants to have an uncomfortable conversation. So what maybe you would think like, okay, so I'm not taking action on this thing because I don't want to have this uncomfortable conversation. It's about getting like really honest with yourself. And it's not necessarily about like forcing yourself to do things that you don't really want to do or that you feel uncomfortable doing. It's more like asking yourself, well, why do I feel uncomfortable? What am I afraid of? Kind of working through that. You might determine that the next action would be, why don't you talk to somebody else who you feel like is good at having those tough conversations, and maybe role play with them. Like you be the person, you let them be the person that you need to talk to, and kind of like role play and talk it through. Just things like that. You just get kind of real honest about why maybe you're not moving forward on something. So each next action should definitely be something that you feel like that you could do. So you should essentially feel kind of excited after transferring everything over to that third piece of paper of things that you can take action on. And then the very last step is to take the second piece of paper that has all the stuff that you can do nothing about and burn it, because it's something about that, the symbolic act releases the burden of worry from your consciousness. So last time I did this, I took a ceramic bowl, crumpled the paper up, took a lighter stick outside with a cup of water just in case, and burned it. You could also do it inside, like under your stovetop, and turn the stove fan on so you don't set off your fire alarms, fire detectors, smoke detectors. So there you go. Hope that helps. I hope. Gosh.